Welcome back, dear listeners, to another episode of RiftRadio 8999, where the unknown becomes known and the unheard is finally heard. I'm your host, Fernando, and with me today, once again, is the enigmatic visitor who's been stirring up quite the conversation across the cosmos. How are you doing, my friend Blinko? Welcome back. Can you hear me?
GM. Think Fernando might have his wires crossed here. I don't know. I intercepted the transmission a few weeks back. GM. Think Fernando might have his wires crossed here. I don't know. Let me plug in this thing and see what it does. I think the bald hair. Maybe that's how he lost his hair. He plugged in a wire and then it just fried it. I think that's what's going on here. I think that's how Fernando lost his hair. He was trying to get everything working at one point in time in his younger years, and zigged when he should have zagged, and this is where we ended up. Well, hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, GM, GE,
Testing.
GA, all the above. Green fellas, dogs, ducks, and punks. Happy to see you all here today. I'm sure Fernando will be blessing us with his presence here shortly. We came to vibe today. We've had some fun guests for the past few weeks, and we decided to take a break and just chit-chat a little bit, see what's going on in the cosmos. Some very interesting things have happened on my planet. We'll talk about that. Saw some things going on with Glitch and the work that he did. If you remember from our space a few episodes back, he was doing the art project, an audio-visual one of the first on Solana, which is really neat. Fernando ended up project. That's where we got connected with him, and then Maggie announced a villain on the show last week, and wow, I think we saw something related to some sort of a burn. But again, we'll dive into some of that when Fernando comes on. If anybody has any questions, any thoughts or feedback, go ahead and throw up your hand. I'll bring you on stage. While we get some of these things figured out.
I'm alive!
Holy smokes, man! Blew my ears off. come to think about it, I don't even know if I have ears. Maybe I hear through my nostrils. I don't know.
Well, you said you had some wires crossed. Maybe it's your nostril wires.
Right? Yeah. So you could hear me, huh?
Yeah. So I was checking,
Boy.
and there was a problem with detecting the correct microphone. That's what you get when you try to, try to stream to like 4 or 5 sources, and today we were trying to stream also towards TikTok, which is a new addiction I've discovered thanks to you, Blinko.
Hey, it's interesting. TikTok is used in different manners all across your planet, but certainly a good means in order to share our message.
And kill time.
Touche.
That's what it's mostly used for, killing time.
Right. Next thing you know, 4 hours has gone by. You haven't eaten. It's 2 a.m.
That is the truth for real, man. For real, man.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's so yeah. As we speak, I'm trying to see if we can get back there as well as on the tiki and the tucky.
So while I was trying to figure some of this stuff out while you were coming on, I thought maybe this was how you lost your hair, right? Like, so I've never had hair, but I know humans, some have them and some don't. And so is this kind of the process that happened? You zigged when you should have zagged, you plugged something in and it just fried it all off? Is that how it went, or is it something? No, is it unrelated altogether?
It's a lot of stress. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah, stress.
That's what it is.
I've heard that word quite often from
many. What kind of stress do you have as an alien on an icy planet? Nothing else to do.
I mean, bro, there's no one here, so there's not really a whole lot to get stressed about, right? I mean, other than maybe the voices in my own head, but
I mean, we got a name for that kind of people on Earth, for people that
talk
in themselves.
Just reminded me. I haven't told you about this yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like yesterday, I think it was yesterday. It's still freaking out there, but like there's this glow. Like I was looking outside, I was just jamming some tunes, singing along like I normally do, just vibing, right? And I go and I look outside my window, and this big light flashed, and believe it or not, there's just this like, it almost looks like some kind of a portal, right? Like I don't know how to describe it, other than it's just like this this large circular thing that's kind of just turning. It's like white in the center with some like purple or bluish hue around it, and it just kind of spins. It's just been staying there. I haven't gone outside since. So I guess when you talk about stress, I guess maybe I'm kind of stressed out about this flipping portal. I don't know what it's doing. Like this has never happened before, man. Do you guys do you have like those things show up on your planet? Have you know what I'm even talking about?
We don't have random holes creating themselves mid-air, if that's what you're meaning.
Yeah, like this just showed up. It was like a bright flash. I mean, I was jamming, I was singing along, like I was having a good old day, and then all of a sudden this thing just pops up in the middle of like this ice field that I have in front of me.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I'm freaking staying away. I literally said like, what in the cosmos is that? And I'm like, this can't be good. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's good. I don't know. I mean, what do you think? Should I walk in it? Do I throw something in it? Like,
well, I don't think it's healthy to throw something at it. It might spit back. If you throw stuff in it might throw stuff back at you.
I'm glad I brought that up with you because.
Were you thinking about throwing rocks at it?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I'm by myself. Man, like, and on one hand, it would be kind of nice to,
yeah.
I mean, you're fun to talk to, but I only get to talk to you like every other week, But, but yeah, I don't know. I kind of thought, maybe throw something at it and
see what happens.
Now that you say that.
Yeah, let me just throw stuff at it and see what happens with it. I don't think that's the best solution to this. Is that how you discover
Yeah.
other planets as well? You just visit them and just throw stuff at whatever moves?
Well, I think what it is I've spent way too much time intercepting transmissions of humans and their purchases of some of these NFTs and meme coins, where they just kind of like, willy nilly, don't think about consequences and just say, why not?
Yeah, let me just
It just
throw.
looks like a giant
Let me
meme
just
coin.
throw
Why
it
not?
at it.
Why not throw
Why
something
not?
at it?
Oh man. So that's why I had a big headache the week before we met. You were actually visiting me already, but you just saw me and just threw a random rock at my head to see what happens.
Oh man. Yeah, that talk about being between a rock and a hard place. Ta-da.
Ooh, yeah,
Those
yeah,
are-
yeah, man.
I hear they call those dad jokes. Is that what that is?
Dad jokes, yeah, true. Wait, but I'm not sure if you can. Can you say it's a dad joke even if you're not officially a dad? What is a non-dad joke?
Non-dad joke. Oh, that's good.
Is that a Chad
know,
joke?
I don't. Maybe. I think so. I think you're onto something.
I should patent it. Well, I can't now, anyways. Yeah, man. So how's what kind of interesting stuff you've been experiencing this last week? I mean, except the freaking big portal opening, or in your backyard. I mean, stay safe. I mean, don't do random stuff. You never know what's gonna. I mean, you could explore it maybe from afar and see what's going on with it. But I mean, yeah, I think best to refrain from throwing stuff at it. It might spit back.
I mean, I'm literally looking at it right now. Like where I'm positioned. My desk. My control panel. It oversees like this large sheet of ice, and so I'm literally staring at it right now. Maybe I almost kind of think, well, maybe I just move my desk so I don't look at it. Maybe the problem just go away if I don't pay any attention to it.
Well, you never know. Keep it close. Do you have any cameras on site to keep it a watch on it?
Oh, that's interesting. Never thought of that. I think you humans use that in order to make sure people aren't stealing your packages off your porch, right? Something like that. Can't like some kind of a camera device. I might think about that. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I would definitely consider that, man. So.
But other than that, I did take a peek at some of the people that we've interviewed recently. Glitch. Holy smokes!
What's he cooking?
I'm telling you. Let's see if I can pin this here. But he it looks like the PFP that he's created. It appears that he's converted it into some sort of an avatar. There's a space that he is looking to leverage those assets. So let's see here. Let's see if I can pin this.
I've seen some glitchy stuff from there lately.
Yeah, no, it was wild. Let me throw it up. All right, there's a couple. And so it looks like he is in his first post, it looked like he was testing a new workflow and pipeline for some immersive web experience. For some sort of game items and creatures, for some kind of a case study. But I think one of the things that I found about his project was just the colors, the sound, right? Kind of like this first audio visual generative art on Solana. I mean, it's really kind of breathtaking as an avatar and kind of seeing these things move around. So really kind of interested to see how that develops. Also kind of cool that someone from the community that listens to our show was able to win one of those. So, that's
That
pretty
was
cool
kind of
too.
dope, yeah. I think
Yeah.
we briefly said like his artwork is like the first audio one on Solana chain.
Yeah. And it's
It-
so interesting, you had bumped into him while you were at the conference, and I just happened to have picked up one of the pieces prior to that. So kind of a neat
Yeah,
neat spider web we came across.
is the meant to be part, right? But even like
Yeah.
if you look at the like since we started these comms between us two, we've every person that's come on, we've also followed their path afterwards, and I think another one would be like Monkey Moto, right? We've seen some cool stuff being dropped with him as well.
Yeah, Monkey's got some
I'm not
stuff
sure
going too,
what
doesn't he?
So I haven't delved deeply enough into it. I'm not sure if you've done, but I think I've seen Wasabi also got a whitelist recently to mint it, if I'm correct. So yeah, have you checked it out?
Well, I've seen bits and pieces of it. I think he's got a number of things cooking. I know that I've picked up 3 of his pieces, or like it evolved from various stages, and that was on the launch pad on Solana. But then he's got another thing cooking with these profiles. Let's see if I can find something on that. Yeah, let's look at But I think he seems heavily busy in both that and PFP Task Force. I tried to snag some alpha from Ollie, but that all he does is talk about flipping oranges, and I don't know. A bit much sometimes, I tell you what.
No, I dig the art style quite a bit. I do wonder like how many of they're gonna be and in what variations, like how it would look in different like styles, traits, wearables maybe even. I'm not sure, but whatever it is, it looks good.
Yeah, man.
Like especially like when you compare it, not even compare it with Web3 art PFP, but as a normal PFP, even as a Web2 PFP or an avatar or something you would identify with, it still looks good, right? That's the point, I guess. Also at the same time.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's one of the things that I think a lot of community members, really kind of appreciated was his art styling, and creativity. I mean, and then just the fact of being able to not only do that, on a canvas or a digital canvas, but being able to, translate that into like not only and then a 3D shoe and then actual physical shoe, right? And so I think it really shows just a great depth in not only skill but creativity and design. So it's just stoked to see him part of the task force. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. So yeah, the task force. It's an interesting bit on its own, but it's very positive from the things I've gathered around.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. It seems like they're all seem to be swimming in the same lane, and seems to be progressing from just the bits and pieces that I've intercepted. But they've locked that thing down super tight. Generally, I can penetrate through some pretty hefty security, but a lot of that stuff they've got under very tight lock and key. So excited to see how that trans.
Well, can't you hack it?
Well, I'm trying, brother. It's just they got the thing like locked down pretty freaking hard. If you maybe we can try and figure out how we can hack that thing together. I don't know. I know the community is really looking forward to a sneak peek, right? That's for sure. That message is loud and clear. So I don't know, man. Maybe that's what we do. Maybe we can hack it to do some kind of sneak peek. I don't know.
You never know. I mean, it's. I feel it's closer.
Yeah, it's got to be, right? It's got to be. With everything that that I've peeked in on some of the conversations between Ollie and Cherry, or Ica, or whatever he's calling himself nowadays. But it's just all they're doing is going back and forth, red, orange, and then So then I tried to plug my ear a little bit closer to Antoine, and then he's doing some pack moon thing, and then so Monkey Moto is kind of the one that I'm peeking on the most right now.
The one, I think he's. If I look at on his site, he's aiming for July, August to do some next move. So I'm looking forward to see what he's cooking, my brother.
Touche.
Oh man, it's gonna be an. If I look at the total story, it's gonna be an interesting second half. Yeah, I guess is what we can call it. Right, second half.
Yeah, man.
We're gonna have an interesting. Path.
Yeah, I mean, we had this base summer. There were 3 pieces that dropped that you could collect. I know I saw Ollie was taking some of that art and changing it. Of course, he changed it orange, right? But then he also changed it green for Monkey Moto. Monkey Moto is a big green fan, and then Cherry, of course, red, right? And so I think it was fun to see some others that were kind of doing some fun creative stuff with that. But really interested to see where that goes. I know that you could purchase one of those items for, I think it was like a little less than $3, $3 USD, and then and then the transaction fee was literally pennies. And then it sounds like if you hold an alt, there'll be some sort of action there for holders. I didn't see anything. I've been trying to hack my way through that information. Nothing yet. But maybe you and I can take it offline and figure out if there's some things that we can combine between my tech and yours in order to see if we can crack the seal on that thing.
That would be interesting to explore as well, man. Definitely.
Maybe we need to combine both worlds, right? Like, I mean, I think some of the tech you have is quite foreign to me, and vice versa. But if we we join forces, I mean, look what we've done, and just who we've brought up and who we've talked to. I mean, I think we've already learned so much. If we take our tech and we add it together, who knows?
Well, hey, you never know what kind of tech comes out of that big hole in your backyard.
Oh, yeah. I was my heart.
Well, here's the thing. I'm starting to get worried. What if nothing comes out, but it starts sucking everything in?
Ooh, that would be next level. I mean, on one hand, I won't be alone anymore. But on the other hand, I mean, like. That sounds kind of wild. I can't imagine. I don't know. I mean, it's peaceful here. That's the one thing I got going for me, is that I got no chaos. Certainly don't want to introduce chaos into my life, but I guess because sometimes you can't avoid it. You roll with the punches.
You have to roll with the punches, exactly. But I'm kind of curious now. What kind of what's that? Yeah, man, stay safe. Whatever you do with it, that's all I'm gonna say.
Well, you've convinced me not to throw anything at it. I will promise to keep my hands off this thing and stay indoors until. To be honest, until you and I can.
I wasn't even sure you needed convincing on that subject not to throw objects into random appeared holes. in your backyard.
I'm telling you, man.
Have you not watched movies?
In the movies I see, when the explosion happens, people walk away just, all casually. So, I mean, I thought, I could throw something in it and just casually walk away.
Yeah, but if you look at it, they're all walking slow motion as well. Like, it's like the same 20 meters, they taking over like 3 minutes to walk or
Right.
jump over. So, have that in mind as well.
It's true.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But yeah, I'm quite excited with. I think in general, if we want to talk about it, is the stuff that's gonna come up for the next 5-6 months and beyond, basically, right? Because this is what we want it to be. Ideally, is there is no pit stop, there is no end destination, there is just the next stop, and because this Web3, this digital world we are in and entering and having fun, it's something we wanted to have for a long time, right? We wanted to have it for sticking around for a while and not just being an one-off thing and then done with it. And I think this is something we've seen also a lot of in the spaces, right? Everybody's asking, with other projects I'm meaning mostly, like roadmap, when, and you name it. And I'm not seeing a lot of questions regarding like where are we going to be next year or in 2 years or 3 years or 4 years, and this is a question I'm not seeing in with basically 99% of the projects when I look into the chat and you go into it, and nobody is asking, right, what is our actual vision, right? Everybody's looking for the next activation just to have a speculative nature, but you don't see questions like even something like with like Azuki or Pudgies. When you look in the chat, everybody is so I'm not even saying it's a bad thing per se, but self-centered with their own stuff, as in like what's in this for me in the next activation, as opposed to, right, how can we or how can I contribute to make Pudgy the best thing in 10 years? Like how can I make Pudgy a household brand the same as Hello Kitty, right? Like where is that conversation? It feels like a lot of that conversation is projected and forwarded to whatever founder, and they relinquish their part by saying, well, I've purchased your NFT or your asset on secondary for 5 ETH, even though you only receive 0.2 ETH from it. But now they're sitting in this, some sort of shareholder chair, and then looking down on the founder and saying, like, work for me and make my investment become gazillion worth, right? But but in that process, there is this self-imposed entitlement based on the price they paid on a secondary market, of which the founder never seen like 95% of that at all, right? I'd like to see more of that kind of discussions shifting in other projects as well, to see like, all right, guys, we are 10,000 ambassadors of this whatever animal, whatever project, whatever thing you're claiming to be. How can I be part of it? Actually be part of it, and not just because just changing your PFP and saying I'm part of the community on Twitter is not cutting it in 2024 if you want to be really a community member, right? It's what are you doing for your own community? Like if we were going to go make it all political, like don't ask where you can what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country kind of vibes. Don't ask what your founder and project can do for you, but ask what can you be doing as contribution and being added value to that community of which you're claiming to be, or are you just a sheep in and a wolf in sheep's clothing? What's the dealio?
No, I resonate a lot with that, and I think that's really why I intercepted your transmission, right? I think seeing you as this this alternate personality, or this radio ego, and me being of a thriller nature, loving this metaverse space and in gaming and all things cutting edge tech. It just seemed like kind of a natural fit to jump in with you and deep dive into this. And who knows where it'll unfold, but brother, I ain't going nowhere. And I strongly believe that by holding this IP, and when this releases, it's we can take it to the moon, man. We don't necessarily need founders to drive that ship for us, right? I mean, we can certainly see what sort of activations and things and such are being created by the mothership, let's say. But I think we can choose our own destiny, right? I think we can drive and create, and we can take people on a road trip with us. I mean, just be careful, don't pop in that portal, man. Like, wait till we figure out what the flipping thing does. But but yeah, I mean, like, it's funny. A lot of people pop into some of these Discords, and I see it, as well as, when's this coming? What am I gonna do? And wait. But what are you doing? What are you creating? I think that's the exciting thing. I knew an individual that quit a corporate gig so that they could focus and give back to community. I think in a lot of that corporate world, people are just kind of getting fed up with working their tail off in order to make the executive, the CEO, I think I heard from Boeing, makes like $32 or $33 million a year. I think that's like a 40% increase from the previous year, and the flipping planes are falling out the door, man.
Yeah. The spaceship lately. Like, this is what I don't understand. Why we are not talking about this? Something important, like the fact. Like, imagine like 20, 30 years ago, there was a news. We got 8 humans stuck middle of the space. It would have been like world news for the next couple of weeks, months, to figure out how we're gonna get back these people back. Now it's not even like a footnote on a news site. Like, are we not gonna talk about the fact we got 8 humans floating in space without ways of getting back because a Boeing part failed again? Like,
right.
I mean, I've heard about rug pull, but this is putting like an elephant under the rug and then saying like there is nothing here to see.
It almost reminds me of the smoke screen, right? You're driving your car and you shoot out the smoke screen so the car behind you doesn't see what's going on. It's almost like it's you're being shown the lens of what's going on, so you're not paying attention to what's going on behind you or something. Like, it's like wild.
It's wild. I mean, but then again, I mean, it's if you look at what's out there and with the news, it's hard to keep up with the what's the best way to describe it? Whatever is happening is every week is one disaster, one shock. You become almost numb to it, and I'm not even sure that's the place. It's a good place to go.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think in some cases that's where that conditioning takes place, right? And then people give up hope, right? People maybe aren't pushing back on things maybe they should be pushing back on.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I think sometimes we see stuff on the news, or I think, let me take a step back. Elon Musk, I saw had once said something along the lines of innovation doesn't happen if people don't innovate, right? But change can happen in the world if people don't create change themselves or push for something better. Yeah. And I think I'm just hopeful that that some of these changes take place soon, because in some cases, holy smokes, it's kind of interesting out there.
Yeah, and Elon is an interesting figure on its own. I have to say as well. That's also he's a controversial, weird figure. I think I'm not sure what to say or think of that guy. Sometimes I think he's just a giant troll. I think maybe the best way to describe it. I mean, you can be smart and be a troll at the same time. Those things are not exclusive, you know.
I don't want to say too much, because I think he kind of owns this thing that we're talking on.
Oh, no, he's a genius. He's a wonderful person. He's he should get at least a couple of Nobel Peace Prizes.
Well, I mean, I think the fact that the guy can spend $50+ billion in order to ensure that there's free speech on the planet, I don't know, man. I'm a fan of that, right? I think I think it's good to have, in some cases, some people chatting about kind of what's going on within the world. I think sometimes the news, and from some of the interceptions I picked up, it almost seems like one news outlet says something and it's just picked up and carried on everywhere. And I don't know if that's necessarily right either.
Oh yeah. That kind of messes up with the whole integrity, I would say then. Yeah. But here's also another thing. Like, have you ever seen like a news site that just does the opposite? Like, instead of like rage baiting, clickbaiting purely based on your most negative or fearful emotions, but they try to tap into the most positive one. Like, it's a news website, but it's only filled with actual good stuff that's happening in the world. So basically the opposite of your average news website today.
I'm familiar with The Onion, but it's not necessarily like positive stuff. They just kind of like mock, some. It's more of a troll thing. But
yeah, it's more. I think it falls more on the satire. Maybe you could say it.
Yeah.
But because what I'm saying, I don't feel it's weird or not tried out yet. There must be some company that said like, you know what, I'm gonna start a news site, but it's gonna be only good vibes, in sense like I'm gonna tell what the world has done right today instead of telling again what we have messed up again for the thousandth time.
I mean, there's nothing that says that we can't do that. I think that we're awfully positive and bright. I mean, we have to be for both being bald. I mean, I don't got ears. You got no hair on your head. You got that hair on your lip. I mean, and look at us. We're just curious.
And then we're gonna call it like a Good Vibes TV.
Good Vibes TV, maybe. I don't know. It'll be just you and I vibing, brother.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's gonna be a lot of viewers then. If it's just gonna be me and you talking, I think there's gonna be what's that called? Another crypto bro podcast.
Right. Yeah, we haven't hard enough time finding sponsors for this show, let alone trying to find one for something like that.
Right? I mean, last time we had a sponsor, but this time the sponsor dipped. Like they were like, oh, it's gonna be just you two talking. Yeah, we're not gonna sponsor this.
One of these days, we're gonna land a sponsor, and they're gonna take care of us, and we're gonna be eating Costco hot dogs, brother. It's gonna be great.
Who would be like if we had to contemplate, like, who would be the most interesting person in Web3 to talk and poke their head on topics?
Oh, gosh, that's a great question.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's a hard question, man, because
it's a really hard question.
And I think so. If we have to philosophize it a bit, I think it's also kind of iconic of the space we are, because if I look back, some of the heroes in 2021 are proper villains today, and some of unexpected heroes rose in the last year and a half as well. Like, so I think...
You know what?
Who?
Indigo.
Indigo.
That MFer,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
missing, man.
Yeah, definitely
He's missing.
Indigo.
He's been gone. Friggin' chaos in the Discord. When, soon, right? A whole lot would be mitigated if we could get that guy on the phone and see what's up, or that ape rather.
Yeah.
But that would be my that's what I'm throwing in. Indigo.
Yeah. How do you know do you speak monkey?
Well, I mean,
does Indigo speak English, or do you have like a universal translator?
I've never heard him speak. Through all the interceptions that I've encountered, I've seen him join some spaces, but I don't know if I've ever heard him speak. I've seen tweets, but never heard the voice.
All right, maybe you just have to hand gesture. No. Start like hand gesturing the guy.
Oh, yeah. We need to make sure we're good on hand gestures. I intercepted something in. It looked like someone got lost in translation because they were trying to greet one another with fingers, and it did not look like it was going the way that it was supposed to. I'll tell you what. So.
Indigo is a good candidate. I would think like cigar. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. Is it cigar?
Cigar.
Basically, the guy that basically does a lot of these. Back in 22, there was all these mishaps with all these dodgy contracts being deployed, having all flaws, and he was always the first person to find a crack into it. I mean, I believe we even had some brief interaction with him as well with regards to some of the stuff I think Adidas has done, but I'm not quite sure on that. But given how big he is in the space, I wouldn't be surprised. Like it's a no-brainer to just drop a DM and saying, "Hey, can you have a look at this?"
Yeah. You know, that brings up a good point. Getting a good white hat on to just chat with them, pick their brain about maybe how they kind of navigate some of these things or what they look out for. That would be interesting. That would be interesting for sure. Yeah,
like what was like, the weirdest, like most newbie mistake done by a big budgeted, like, launch or drop. Like,
right.
And the question is, can he even say it? Like, that's also the question, because he does like how these white hat goes as well. It's a lot of NDAs as well.
Oh, I did some intercepting a while back, and I can tell you how some of these things shake out. Mm-hmm. So when the bad guys, the bad hombres, they hack into a system. One of the first things they do is they start encrypting files, mm-hmm. and then they leave a note, a ransom note for some sort of a crypto, right? Not Dogecoin, right? They're looking to get paid in some BTC, right? And so what ends up happening is that, let's say that you're this corporation that was impacted by this data breach, and now your files are encrypted, and the only way to get them back is by working with them or trying to decrypt those files yourself and mess with that. And so I know Microsoft has a task force that you can bring in, and it's like 6 figures for a week of their time, and then they're paid hourly after that. And what ends up happening is they come in and they kind of help clean house. But the really interesting thing is that when you create this engagement with them, that's you're given a code name for your company, and they don't offer any type of like a ticket number. You're supposed to refer to this code name when you're getting assistance with them, and so that's done in a way to protect company and protect PII information in order to make sure that doesn't get out in the event that the company decides to pay the bad guys, right? And so, I had an interesting peek behind the scenes of all that and how that takes place, and pretty wild stuff. And the one that I'd seen, they were able to recover all the files and everything was good, but they still paid a $500,000 ransom.
Wow.
Yeah. Even on top of paying Microsoft and this other client, to help them get through the situation. So, holy smokes, talk about, being in a rough spot. So some of those things can go south pretty quick, and nothing's ever really kind of shared. You never know if, so when your stuff gets hacked, I don't know. Sometimes there's deals being made behind the scenes in order to make sure some of that stuff never goes public. Wild stuff.
That's some wild stuff. Well, just for the average, like, what is the PPI? What does that mean?
Oh, personal identifiable information.
Ah.
Yeah. So PII is, maybe it's your social security number, right? So, you humans, you're given like this number when you're born, and then you're paying taxes your whole life. It's wild. But so you don't give that out, right? Your home address, your phone number. These are various pieces of PII, personal identifiable information that, you kind of want to protect, Especially these days, man, with everything going on. Yeah, otherwise you're gonna get an alien that's just kind of snooping through some things, and next thing you know, you're getting intercepted. And
that's what I mean.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. You're just minding your own business.
I didn't look too deep on you though, Fernando. Trust me, you're good. All your secrets are safe.
Are you calling me fat?
But No. Call you a lot of things.
Are you saying you could spot me from space?
That mustache, I can spot you across the room. That's for sure.
You were like, Fernando, it wasn't even hard to spot you. That shiny bald head of yours, it was like reflecting the sun back into the space.
Tell you what, maybe if I get too close to that portal, I'll look in the mirror, and next thing you know, we're gonna see one another and go, we'll know each other immediately.
Right? Oh man, it's almost our happy hour is a bit coming to a close end as well. Like, should we share with the listeners the secret for?
Oh, secret.
The secret. Now, well, I mean, I'd say it's a secret, but
we said no alpha. We go through this.
Yeah, here's the thing. Like, I mean, that's the official word they use for it, right? For the POAP. Like, this is the secret. But yeah, if you start your sentence, let's tell them the secret in Web3 on a space, everybody is like clutched to their pearls and saying, what's the secret? What kind of alpha they're gonna do?
Right. Yeah, we're not minting anything, right? You don't buy something that's not worth 5 ETH. It's we got nothing we're selling. We ain't selling anything. I don't know though, man. What's our secret? What's our secret? What's this? What's this code word?
What's that code word?
For you listeners that come in and join us. We use a POAP in order to reward some of our listeners. We do a little raffle from time to time, and that POAP's key to being part of that process. It's available for 15 minutes after the space ends, and the secret code, the secret word, the secret phrase is vibes with a Z. because it's not vibing if it's not with a Z at the end. So V-I-B-E-Z. Take it easy. Vibes come when you're laying it down easy.
I mean, talking about secrets and alphas, I mean, yeah, sure, we are not an alpha show by definition. We're more a vibes show. Maybe I mean, it's up to you, I guess, whether we can tease with our next guest, who that could be.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So Psych will be joining us in 2 weeks. This time, 2 weeks from now, I believe, is that the 12th or the 13th? Let me see. That'll be the 12th. So on the 12th, Psych, co-founder from Deadfellas, lead designer, will be on with us. So that's cool. That's exciting.
That's gonna be
so. Any
dope.
of you green fellas? Looks like we have one green fella in the audience. That's a dead fella.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's gonna be interesting. I mean, they got dope. It's a dope PFP. I've got I think one dead fella, and I think couple of dead friends. Some artworks and some merch. So I'm digging. I dig their community and vibes in general, and also the art style. It's unique on its own, especially in Web3. That's a lot to be unique on its own and being pleasing to the eye. Right? Being unique doesn't per se mean you're pleasing to the eye, because we've seen a lot of unique and creative projects with their NFTs and PFPs coming out, which look horrendous. So do you know if like Psych, is he the creative, or is he more the do you know his role as founder?
He's an artist. Right. And so I believe, I think, great questions for us to ask him coming up. But I believe, he was doing art for, in the Web2 space, and made the pivot to Web3. When you're an artist and you go into some of these engagements, you kind of lose some of that creative, being creative, right? You're paid to kind of follow the direction of the client that you're working with, right?
Yeah.
And so I think, one of the things that I heard in one of the spaces with him was, it allows you to kind of break free of some of those shackles and truly create something that you're passionate about and can get behind. And I think, Deadfellas, definitely stood claim in the fact that, they don't necessarily identify any of their PFP characters as male, female, right? They just don't want to be in that noise. They want to, from my understanding, they want to an inclusive, community, right? Yeah. And I can stand behind that for sure, right? I think, And then the other thing I want to chat with him about is, the Sandbox, and you mentioned this when you were at the conference, that Sandbox has really made some significant growth in some of their own development, and so I just pinned the work that they're doing on bringing gaming to Sandbox, and that looks really cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I mean, Sandbox on its own, it's not. They didn't start in the Web3. Sandbox started in Web2 about 10, 11 years ago. If you look in their original white paper, which is for Web3 degens, is too long to read because it's like 40 pages of boring stuff. Like, but it's for me was quite important, because I want to know, like, how did they store the data, and where was it? Is it central data? Is it decentral data? And they found this hybrid method, which is basically, well, they store everything on AVS, right? But the ownership, it's on chain. So they find this hybrid solution, we could say, where
Mm-hmm.
it could both work. But they've been at it for the last 10, 11 years, but it's only now becoming more mature to a level I would say is enjoyable,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's I think at the conference that's what basically kind of was visible for me. It's all right. 2 years ago, I couldn't really care for this game or
Right.
NFT or whatever. Now the engine to build the game, build the games around it, has become more user friendly. I think it's still got some iterations to go before you would say like, all right, this is also dev friendly, right? At the moment, I would say the games that are coming out now are more mature, more enjoyable, more fun. I remember like 2 years ago, Artifacts dropped their map and it was buggy as heck, and it wasn't enjoyable at all. It felt like a mini map made by a fan on Minecraft, right? And that's just a
Right.
terrible experience to have at all, right? So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
happy where they're going. I'm kind of disappointed with Decentraland though. Um, like
Yeah.
what the heck are they even
Yeah.
doing these days? I know they're kind of a gambling kind of platform. It
Right.
attracts more
Right.
mostly casino, poker, those kind of stuff onto it. But yeah, but let's not forget the big elephant in the room as well, who is the other side, right? So
Yeah.
that's also kind of interesting stuff that's gonna come around to us. Maybe
Yeah, man.
that whole goes to Sandbox
I don't know. I
or other
mean,
side. I don't know.
here's here's the thing. I think one way or another, I think you're a groovy guy, and we're gonna need to find a place to get together in one of these metaverses, some way, somehow.
Yeah,
Whether it's Sandbox or other side, I think who knows, but I think obviously we're gonna need a place, not only for ourselves to vibe, but to keep the vibes, but also to bring vibes to everyone else.
back into it. Well, I mean, on that note, I mean, as a reminder, is a good time to, because I think the POAP claim has just opened. So if anyone wants to claim it before we close our Friday vibes, and everybody can go and vibe the rest of the day with them. So yeah, can you share again? What was the thing again?
Vibes with a Z.
With a
V I
Z.
B E Z.
All
V I
right, man.
B E Z.
Yeah. I'm actually psyched about. Whoa, here's a play word again. I'm psyched about talking to Psych next time around.
100%. Psyched about psych.
Yeah, man, I'm loving it because here's the thing. I love the community. I dig the vibes and the energy and like the whole cohesion they have created and cultivated in the last 2-3 years. But I've never had the time to really dedicate it to that, because the headspace is slim. After like you got so many projects to keep tabs on, and to all honesty, I think 70-80% of my time is with Adidas anyways.
Yeah.
Even though I like to dip more my toes in their community, but you got also other stuff and duties to comply to, which is very
Yeah.
fun, especially with Adidas,
Yeah.
right? So it's yeah, man, I'm excited to poke him and see what they've been doing,
Yeah.
and especially with the gaming, man. Looking forward to that.
No, it's interesting you say that. There's a saying, right? Jack of all trades, master of none, right? I think
Yeah.
if you spread yourself too thin across, too many of these projects, I think sometimes you can miss a lot where, if you kind of hunker down in something you believe in and build from within, kind of like what we were talking about earlier. It's not necessarily just the founders that you can rely on. If you build a community, you support a community, and you stay consistent within that community, I think you can have just as much impact as a founder, right? And so I think, yeah,
Yeah, definitely. I'm psyched again. But I think our time
Psyched to be psyched.
has come to an end, my friend. I'm afraid, and but I'm excited next time around with a lot of new vibes, new questions. I'm gonna think as well. Like, what do we want to ask him?
Yeah, man. I'll
Yeah.
I'll keep an eye on that, and I will stay away from this portal. If anything happens, I'll be sure to let you know. I'm kind of keeping a close eye on it, but I'm kind of like, I don't want to look at it because I don't want it to change or do anything weird. But you know, who knows? Hopefully this thing maybe just kind of disappears and everything's fine, or I don't know.
Well, I mean, if I don't hear from you, I mean, I'll come after you, man. I'll chase you. I don't know where you end up, but I'll be chasing you.
If you don't hear from me, come find me, because I don't know if it's necessarily good. You know, who knows? Maybe I could need some help. You know, you never know. And like vice versa. If I don't hear from you, I'm coming. I got your back, homie. I got your back.
I mean, just find the shining bald guy from space. You'll be good.
Look for the shine and the hair on the lip. Gotcha.
Exactly. Man. All right, bye, everybody. That's it for today. Again, for the last time, the POAP, for the claim for the POAP, the secret is vibes with a Z at the end. So it's open now till 15 past. And yeah, see you next time with the co-founder of Dead Fellas Psych. Enjoy the rest of the start of your weekend, basically. Enjoy it with family, friends, yourself. Touch some grass. Life is also not all that serious, you know. Enjoy it a little bit.
Heck yeah.
Right?
Heck yeah, brother.
Exactly.
Be well.
Spend the time with your loved ones. You know, do whatever you like. It's weekend. Enjoy. Right?
All right, brother.
All right, man.
Be well. Cheers, all.
Cheers, everybody. Take care.